Imagine this. You're at dinner celebrating your promotion. Everyone's raising glasses, congratulating you on the 15% raise. You're thinking, finally, I can breathe. 6 months later, you're at the same restaurant, staring at the bill, doing that mental calculation thing again. Can I actually afford this? The raise came and went like it never happened. You're making $9,000 more per year and somehow feeling exactly as broke as before. Where did that money go? You can't point to any major purchase, no fancy vacation, no new car. It just disappeared into thin air. And here's what makes this absolutely wild. About 78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, including people making six figures. This isn't a broke person problem, it's a trapped person problem. There's an invisible force pulling you back down no matter how much you earn, and understanding this force is the difference between staying stuck forever and actually breaking free. I'm Jade, and I spend way too much time researching behavioral economics and why people making $200,000 can be just as financially stressed as people making $40,000. Today, we're breaking down the exact mechanism keeping you trapped, the psychological forces you can't see, and more importantly, how to achieve what I call escape velocity. If you've ever wondered why raises never seem to help or why you feel poor despite earning decent money, make sure to hit that subscribe button because what I'm about to show you will probably make you rethink everything you thought you knew about income. But first, you need to see what this invisible force actually looks like in your daily life, because most people don't even realize they're trapped until someone shows them the cage. You're scrolling Zillow at midnight looking at apartments you could afford now with your new salary. Bigger place, better neighborhood, just $400 more per month. That's nothing with your raise, right? Here's what your brain conveniently ignores. That $400 per month equals $4,800 per year. Your $9,000 raise just became $4,200 after this one decision. And you haven't even gotten to the car upgrade, the nicer gym membership, the subscription creep that happens when you stop checking prices. Let me trace where the money actually goes because this pattern is so predictable, it's almost funny. Apartment upgrade, because you deserve better, $400 per month. Car payment, because you can finally afford something reliable, $350 per month. Restaurants shift from once a week to 3 times because you're too tired to cook, and you can afford it now, $200 per month. Random lifestyle improvements like better coffee, Ubers instead of the subway, organic groceries instead of regular, $150 per month. Add it up. That's $1,100 per month, which equals $13,200 per year. Your raise was $9,000. You're now $4,200 deeper in the hole than before the promotion. This exact pattern happens when people go from $40,000 to $50,000. It happens at $80,000 to $100,000. It happens at $150,000 to $200,000. The percentages stay the same regardless of the numbers. You could be making $500,000 and still feel broke if your expenses track your income. And here's what makes this so exhausting. You did everything right, you worked hard, you got promoted, you increased your income by 15%. And somehow you feel more stressed about money than before because now you have higher fixed costs, more debt payments, and the same zero cushion you had when you were making less. Think of it like gravity in physics. Gravity pulls everything toward Earth's center with a force that increases with mass. Income gravity pulls your expenses toward your income with a force that increases the more you make. The invisible hand of lifestyle inflation is always there, always pulling, and most people never even realize it exists until they're completely trapped by it. Here's a truth that might sting a bit. Someone making $50,000 with $10,000 saved is financially freer than someone making $150,000 with $200,000 in debt. Because freedom isn't about how much flows in. It's about the gap between what flows in and what flows out. So what is this force exactly? Where does it come from? This is where the neuroscience gets really interesting. Research on hedonic adaptation shows something fascinating. When people receive significant income increases, their happiness and stress levels return to baseline within about 3 to 6 months. The money changed. The anxiety didn't. This is why lottery winners often report being no happier a year later. Your brain is incredibly good at adapting to new circumstances, which is great for surviving trauma, but terrible for maintaining gratitude about a raise. That promotion feels amazing for about 6 weeks. You check your bank account and smile at the bigger numbers. You treat yourself to a few nice things, but then something shifts. The new income becomes your baseline, what felt like abundance becomes normal. The excitement evaporates and the anxiety creeps back in because now you're comparing yourself to people who make even more than you do. This brings us to what I call Parkinson's law of money. The original concept states that work expands to fill the time available. The financial version goes like this. Expenses expand to match the income available. This happens automatically unless you consciously prevent it. Studies on consumer behavior show that most people's expenses rise proportionally with their income, a phenomenon economists call expenditure creep. The more you earn, the more you spend, keeping your savings rate relatively flat forever. But here's where it gets psychologically twisted. When you make $50,000, you subconsciously compare yourself to other people making around $50,000. You see their one-bedroom apartments and 10-year-old Hondas and feel normal. The moment you start making $80,000, your brain unconsciously shifts your comparison group to other $80,000 earners. Now you're looking at their 2-bedroom apartments and 3-year-old cars and feeling behind. Your reference group always shifts upward with income. You're never comparing to people making less, always comparing to people with more. Social media amplifies this by approximately 1,000 times because you're constantly exposed to curated displays of wealth from people in your new income bracket. And here's the kicker. Once you upgrade your lifestyle, downgrading feels like losing something. Your brain treats giving up the nicer apartment as a genuine loss. This is called loss aversion, and research shows that losses hurt about twice as much as equivalent gains feel good. This is why lifestyle creep is easy and effortless. But lifestyle reduction feels like punishment. You're not just cutting expenses. You're experiencing psychological loss that your brain interprets as actual harm. Let me show you how debt multiplies this gravitational pull because most people completely miss this mechanism. You're making $65,000 now. Car payment is $400 per month. Seems affordable, right? Here's the physics your brain ignores. That $400 per month isn't just $400 in expenses. It's $400 you can't save every single month. Over 30 years, that $400 per month invested at 8% returns becomes over $540,000. You didn't buy a $30,000 car. You bought a vehicle that cost you more than $500,000 in future wealth. Each debt obligation increases the gravitational pull keeping you trapped. Makes it harder to save, makes it harder to take career risks, makes it harder to invest. You're literally paying for the privilege of staying stuck. And then there's the dopamine economics of spending. Your brain releases dopamine when you make purchases. It feels good temporarily. Higher stress jobs create more need for these dopamine hits, so shopping becomes a stress relief mechanism. But the relief is temporary while the financial damage is permanent. You're medicating financial stress with the exact behavior that creates more financial stress. It's a perfect self-reinforcing trap. Here's what you need to understand. Income gravity isn't a character flaw. It's not lack of discipline or willpower. It's your brain doing exactly what evolution designed it to do, which is adapt to circumstances and seek status within your peer group. These mechanisms helped humans survive for millennia, but they're now keeping you financially trapped in ways your ancestors never had to deal with. So our brains are working against us through mechanisms we can't easily control. What are the specific traps we need to watch out for? Most people are caught in 4 or 5 of these simultaneously, and each one pulls you back down. The more traps you're in, the stronger the total gravitational force becomes. The first trap is what I call the monthly payment illusion. You're at a car dealership and the salesman says he can get you into this vehicle for just $450 per month. That sounds reasonable when you're making $5,000 per month. But here's what he's not saying. That payment represents $27,000 over 5 years, plus another $4,000 in interest. That's $31,000 total. And if you invested that $450 per month instead of spending it on a depreciating asset, it would become roughly $300,000 over 30 years. Your brain thinks in monthly chunks because that's how paychecks arrive. But debt sellers know this, which is why they never talk about total cost. They talk about monthly payments. This cognitive bias keeps millions of people trapped in debt they don't need. The second trap is lifestyle benchmarking. There are unwritten rules about what successful people at your level should have. Manager-level employees drive newer cars. Directors live in good school districts. VPs have luxury sedans. Nobody wrote these rules down, but everyone follows them like they're law. Your coworkers drive nice cars, so you feel pressure to upgrade. Your friends live in certain neighborhoods. Instagram shows you what people at your level supposedly have. You're following social rules you never consciously agreed to, and those rules are designed to keep you consuming. Trap number 3 is betting on future income. You're buying furniture on a credit card thinking you'll definitely get promoted next year and pay it off then. But here's the thing, you're gambling today's financial security on tomorrow's uncertain income. And even if you do get that promotion, income gravity ensures the raise will disappear just like the last one. Each bet on future income compounds with previous bets, creating pressure to stay in jobs you might hate because you can't afford the lifestyle you've locked yourself. The fourth trap is reward rationalization. I worked 60 hours this week. I deserve this $200 dinner. My job is stressful. I need this vacation I can't afford. I hit my sales target. Time to upgrade my watch. Spending becomes emotional regulation instead of conscious choice. The word deserve bypasses rational thinking completely. And each reward gets more expensive as your income grows because your baseline for what counts as a treat keeps inflating. You're paying for temporary relief from stress caused by the payments themselves. Trap 5 is complexity camouflage. When's the last time you actually looked at every account, every subscription, every recurring charge you have? Most people have literally no idea what they spend per month because it's spread across 3 credit cards, 2 bank accounts, Venmo, PayPal, and about 47 auto-renewing subscriptions they forgot exist. This complexity isn't accidental. It serves the trap perfectly. You can't fix what you can't see. Financial clarity requires looking at uncomfortable numbers, so your brain helps you avoid the whole situation by making it complicated enough to ignore. The sixth trap is status signaling addiction. That car, that watch, that apartment aren't just objects. They're signals broadcasting to the world that you're successful. And once you start signaling at a certain level, downgrading feels like publicly admitting failure. Your possessions fuse with your identity. What you own becomes who you are. The more you signal success through consumption, the harder it becomes to escape, because you'd have to give up part of your identity to do it. And the seventh trap, which might be the cruelest, is the sunk cost career. You hate your job. It's destroying your health and relationships, but you make $120,000 and your expenses are $115,000. You can't take an $80,000 job doing something you'd love because you're locked into your lifestyle. Every year you stay, the golden handcuffs get tighter. You've traded your freedom for a paycheck that disappears into lifestyle inflation you don't even enjoy. Most people are stuck in at least 4 of these traps simultaneously. Each trap reinforces the others. Together, they create gravitational force that feels almost impossible to overcome. But almost impossible isn't the same as actually impossible. So how do you break free when the forces pulling you down are this strong? In physics, escape velocity is the minimum speed needed to break free from gravitational pull. For Earth, that's 25,000 miles per hour. For your finances, escape velocity is a specific savings rate that overcomes your lifestyle inflation rate. And here's what most people miss. It's achievable at almost any income level if you understand the physics. The core equation is simple. Your savings rate needs to exceed your lifestyle inflation rate. Most people inflate their lifestyle by 90 to 100% of every raise they get. You need to save faster than you inflate spending, which generally means targeting a 20 to 30% savings rate minimum. But here's the part nobody tells you. You don't need to hit 20% immediately. Trying to go from 0 to 20% overnight would be like trying to reach 25,000 miles per hour instantly. You'd burn up from the friction. Here's what you actually do. Next time you get a raise, split the after-tax increase exactly in half. Half goes to improving your quality of life. Half goes to savings, forever. You still get lifestyle improvements so you don't feel deprived, but you're also building escape velocity with the other half. Let me show you the math. Say you go from $60,000 to $70,000. That's a $10,000 raise. After taxes at roughly 30%, you're looking at $7,000 extra per year, which breaks down to about $583 per month. Split that 50-50. You get $291 per month for lifestyle improvements, which still feels great. The other $291 per month goes to savings. That's $3,500 per year. In 3 years, you've built a $10,500 emergency fund while also enjoying a better lifestyle. You improved your life and built security at the same time. Here's another critical strategy. Money you never see in your checking account doesn't feel like your money to spend. Set up automatic transfer the day after your paycheck hits. If you get paid on the 1st, money leaves on the 2nd before you see the big balance and start making mental spending plans. Put it in a separate savings account at a different bank that's mildly annoying to access. No debit card attached. Automatic, not manual. Percentage based so it grows with your income. What you don't see, you don't spend. This is psychological arbitrage at its finest. Then do what I call expense archaeology. For exactly 30 days, track every single purchase. Not to judge yourself, not to feel shame, just to see where money actually goes. Most people discover $150 to $250 per month in what I call subscription archaeology, things they're paying for and haven't used in months. Gym membership used twice this year, $30 to $60 per month. Streaming services you forgot about, $20 to $40 per month. App subscriptions on auto-renew, $15 to $30 per month. Premium tier services you could downgrade, $20 to $50 per month. Food delivery apps charging monthly fees, $10 to $20 per month. That's $1,800 to $3,000 per year in pure waste without missing anything you actually value. Here's a stupidly simple rule that works. Any non-essential purchase over $50, you wait 48 hours, add it to a list. If you still want it 48 hours later, buy it. Here's what actually happens. Most of the things on that list, I'd say more than half, you forget about or realize you don't actually want. You just wanted the dopamine hit of buying something? This breaks the impulse to purchase connection and gives your prefrontal cortex time to override your reptilian brain. And here's something nobody wants to hear, but everyone needs to. Stop taking on new debt today. Not next month after you buy one more thing. Today. Because every new debt payment increases the gravitational force pulling you back down. You cannot achieve escape velocity while actively increasing mass. List all your debts from smallest to largest. Make minimum payments on everything. Attack the smallest with full force for psychological wins. As each one pays off, roll that payment to the next one. Momentum builds and freedom accelerates with each debt that disappears. Try what I call the lifestyle lock experiment. For the next 12 months, freeze your lifestyle exactly where it is right now. Same apartment, same car, same everything. Every raise, every bonus, every unexpected money goes to savings or debt elimination. Just 1 year. Most people discover they don't actually miss the upgrades they never took because you can't feel loss aversion for lifestyle improvements you never adopted. Here's what happens when you commit to this. The first 90 days are brutal. You're fighting every urge, every habit, every social pressure telling you to spend. But around month 4, something shifts. The new habits start feeling normal. Old spending patterns start feeling weird. By month 8, you're not even tempted by things that used to drain your account automatically. You're building identity, not just savings. First $1,000 saved feels like the hardest thing you've ever done. Second $1,000 still feels hard, but you know you can do it. Fifth $1,000 feels almost automatic. When you hit the $10,000 milestone, you're not the same person who started this journey. You've undergone complete identity transformation. But what nobody tells you is what life actually feels like after you escape. And this is where things get interesting in ways you probably can't imagine from where you're sitting now. Remember that 3 a.m. anxiety about unexpected expenses? It's gone. Not because problems stopped happening. Check engine light still turns on. But your brain knows you can handle it. The light triggers annoyance instead of catastrophe. That's not a small change. That's complete rewiring of your stress response system. Career freedom unlocks in ways that feel almost surreal. You can say no to toxic jobs because you have a cushion. You can negotiate from a position of strength instead of desperation. You can take calculated risks like starting a business or switching industries. You can optimize for fulfillment and growth instead of just clinging to whatever paycheck you currently have. Financial stress disappears from your relationships. You're more emotionally available, less irritable, more present. Social plans stop causing anxiety because you can participate without mental gymnastics about your budget. But here's what's truly wild. Once you hit escape velocity, the same forces that kept you trapped start working in your favor. Compound interest that was working against you with debt is now working for you with investments. The habits that built your first $10,000 make the next $10,000 feel automatic. The identity shift that enabled you to save seeks out more optimization opportunities. The acceleration is real and measurable. $0 to $10,000 takes maybe 2 to 4 years of hard work building habits. $10,000 to $25,000 takes 1.5 to 3 years because you have momentum. $25,000 to $50,000 takes 2 to 3 years with compound interest helping. $50,000 to $100,000 takes 2 to 4 years of exponential growth. For someone earning $60,000 to $80,000 with a 20% savings rate, you're looking at roughly 8 to 12 years from $0 to $100,000 net worth. That's not overnight, but it's absolutely achievable. You're not someone trying to save money anymore. You're someone who has money saved. That's not semantic difference, that's fundamental identity transformation. And identity drives behavior more powerfully than willpower ever could. Income gravity never fully disappears. You'll always need vigilance. New temptations emerge at each level. But freedom is worth every sacrifice you make to get there, because real freedom isn't buying whatever you want. That's just a consumption trap at a higher level. Real freedom is being able to say no, walk away, and choose based on values instead of affordability. So here's exactly how you start, even if you're at zero right now. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, everything I just said probably feels impossible. When you're choosing between name brand and generic pasta, save 20% of your income sounds like advice from another planet. So let's talk about what you actually do when you're starting from nothing. Week 1 is just awareness. Don't change anything yet. Track every purchase for 7 days. No judgment, just observation. Most people find $50 to $100 per week in completely unconscious spending. Week 2 through 4, find $25 per week to save. That's it. Not $500, not $100, just $25. Skip one dinner out, cancel one subscription, make coffee at home 3 days. You're not building wealth yet. You're building the identity of someone who saves money. $25 per week equals $1,300 per year. It feels achievable instead of overwhelming, and success builds confidence that enables bigger changes. Month 2 and 3, purge your subscriptions. Audit every recurring charge. Cancel anything you haven't used in 30 days. Downgrade services where you can. Target finding $100 per month. Now you're saving $125 per month. Month 4 through 6, set up automation. Open a separate savings account. Automatic transfer the day after payday. Start with whatever you've proven you can save. Increase it by $25 every month. By month 6, you're saving $200 plus per month automatically without thinking about it. Month 7 through 12, lock your lifestyle. Freeze all upgrades for the rest of the year. Any raise or bonus goes straight to savings. No new debt, period. Attack your smallest debt if you have any. By month 12, if you've built up to saving $200 to $250 per month, you'll have $2,000 to $3,000 saved, plus the momentum and habits that make the next $10,000 almost inevitable. Track one metric, your net worth, assets minus liabilities. If that number goes up every month, you're escaping. If it stays flat or drops, you're still trapped. It's that simple. This won't be easy. First 6 months will test everything. You'll want to quit. You'll justify exceptions. You'll feel deprived while friends spend freely. But the pain of escaping the income gravity is temporary. The pain of staying trapped is permanent. Remember that dinner celebration from the beginning? The 15% raise that vanished? Now you understand why. Income gravity pulled those dollars back down through 1,000 tiny lifestyle inflations you didn't even notice happening. But now you can see the invisible force, and what you can see, you can escape. You're at a choice point right now. One path is closing this video, changing nothing, letting income gravity keep you exactly where you are for the next 10 years. The other path is tracking your spending this week, automating $25 in savings, and beginning your escape. Before this video ends, open your banking app and set up an automatic transfer for any amount. Do it now while motivation is high, because action in the next 5 minutes predicts action in the next 5 years. If this finally made income gravity make sense, hit that like button. Subscribe for more behavioral economics that actually helps instead of just making you feel bad. Comment your current savings rate so we can see where everyone's starting from. And share this with someone who's trapped and doesn't realize it yet. Income gravity is the invisible force keeping you poor. Escape velocity is your path to freedom. The physics are simple, the execution is hard, but hard isn't the same as impossible. Now go break free.